Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we are going to be doing some shorter-term technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets because, guys, as you will probably know, Bitcoin tried to break out the other day, and it failed. Miserably. But as we can see on the chart here, Bitcoin looks like it is actually trying to test that exact same level of resistance, and now we're left asking the question, if Bitcoin is rallying right back up to the same level that it just rejected from, where it, by the way, set a new local high, is Bitcoin about to have a major breakout? Guys, ever since the Bart Simpson on Bitcoin, people have been wondering whether or not the Bitcoin breakout to the upside is actually going to happen. Quite a few more people have been converted to the bearish argument ever since Bitcoin rejected from just over $10,000. So in today's video, as I said, we're going to be doing some shorter-term technical analysis to come to a conclusion on where Bitcoin is headed over the next couple of days. Guys, by the time this video is over, you're going to have a much better understanding of where Bitcoin is headed, so if you're interested in that, continue watching the video, and also consider hitting that like and subscribe button down below. Before we just go ahead and, dive on into it, I do just first want to mention one thing, and that would be the first cohort that many of you guys have been emailing me about. I woke up to like 12 emails about this, so I'll be getting to those here in just a second. There's a lot of them. And you've also seemingly been very interested in the Discord server, which you can see right over there. Pointing the wrong way. There, over there. Yeah, that way. Guys, essentially what the first cohort is our private trading group where you guys will get access to the Coffee and Crypto morning live streams, which I will be doing relatively soon, but more on that at the end of the video. For now, though, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, needn't fear, the boss lady is here, and in this video, we're going to be discussing all of the technicals that are going into the current market, so make sure you keep watching. Guys, we discussed in yesterday's video about how this rally right here, even though it rallied to the upside and fell right back down in a Bart Simpson style, does not actually indicate the end of the uptrend. In fact, if you just go ahead and black out this entire move right here, what does it look like? Well, to me, it looks like Bitcoin is just, trending to the upside. The chart doesn't want to cooperate. You see my point. If you just kind of scrub and airbrush out the pattern that we saw yesterday, literally nothing changes. So why would this one pattern of breaking to the upside and coming right back down change anything other than something bullish? Because it means that we broke the downtrending level of resistance. We came right back down. We rejected off of it, but at the same time, we put a ding in it. We cracked the armor of that level of resistance. We proved that, yes, it is possible for it to be at least touched. So if everything was already very bullish before that breakout, why would it not still be? That is a good question. And the reason it's a good question is because the answer is there is no reason. Bitcoin still should be bullish, and in fact, it is. Guys, I have been talking about the TD sequential for a while now and about how we have a 9 flash on the weekly chart, but remember, this can have up to a month of grace before we start seeing really, really important downtrends needing to come out of it. This is not necessarily a short-term pattern. In fact, just plain and simply, it is not a short-term pattern. Bitcoin can break to the upside before anything happens on the TD sequential, and most technical indicators are bullish. However, it is the fundamentals where we find our problems, guys. In a normal climate, in a normal state where everything was, well, more normal and we weren't all playing apocalypse bingo in our free time, we would be more inclined to say that Bitcoin was going to break to the upside because of all of the technical factors. But guys, we also have to remember, there are 40 million Americans alone out of work. The oil market never fully recovered from all of the nonsense that's going on. I'm still getting gas for $1.90 around these parts. I remember before all of this started, the cheapest gas I had ever bought anywhere in my entire life was $1.99. Now, not to mention half of the country is on fire because of the other news. Like I said, we're all just playing apocalypse bingo. It's a really sad year for most people, and that sucks. But the fact of the matter is this. Bitcoin has already rallied in defiance of those fundamentals, so what's to say that it won't continue? Here is an argument for that. If Bitcoin is to break this level of resistance and break these previous two highs that we saw right here, we are going to need to see the fundamentals backing up Bitcoin. Because guys, from bottom to top, we have seen 164% rally over the last 84 days. I can't believe it's been 84 days already, but it has. What is that starting to look like? It's starting to look like this previous bull market right over here. It's starting to look like when Bitcoin rallied 300% in 196 days. The reason that this bull market did not develop into something more major and rally all the way back to $20,000 is because we had no healthy corrections. We need to have a healthy correction at some point. So now the question is, will Bitcoin have that healthy correction now, or will we break to the upside and then have that healthy correction? Either way, mark my words, it may take 2 or 3 months to vindicate me on this, but the fact is, if Bitcoin is going to sustain this bull market, it needs 2 weeks of correction. That is my call. It needs it, I guarantee you, or this bull market will not last. It is the 4th of June right now. It is the 4th of June right now. Come back in September and watch this video and look at the chart in 3 months. What does Bitcoin do? Does it continue rallying to the upside and never have a correction, or does it have a correction, a healthy correction, and then continue the rally and uptrend and bull market hopefully from there? I'll tell you exactly what Bitcoin does. It can only do two things. Either one, the bull market ends and it crashes and burns, or the bull market has a healthy correction, which we have not seen yet. So again, if we want the bull market to continue, we must ask ourselves the logical question, when is that correction going to happen? Because as we said, it is going to happen. If Bitcoin couldn't sustain an unrelenting bull market in healthy times, what's to say that Bitcoin is going to do it in unhealthy times when 40 million Americans are out of work trying to save their pennies and keep food on the table? And by the way, yes, I realize there's a lot of government stimulus going on right now, but that's not going to last forever. When that ends, there's going to be an economic drop-off, the likes of which we haven't seen yet. There are fundamental forces propping Bitcoin up. We had a halving. The stock-to-flow ratio looks amazing. The hash rate looks amazing. New addresses looks amazing. In a time of economic expansion, the fundamentals on Bitcoin look fantastic, but some of the fundamentals from this current global economy are pushing Bitcoin to the downside. I honestly, if all of this hadn't have happened, could have seen Bitcoin at $14,000 already. So with all of that said, where is that correction that we're going to see happen? I will be honest with you guys, it almost feels like a coin toss as to whether or not it happens now or as to whether or not Bitcoin breaks to the upside. I will tell you what my gut is telling me. And I want to make a distinction. This is not a call. This is simply a feeling, and we'll see if this comes true. I'm not calling anything. I'm not trading based off of this, but a lot of you guys like to ask me, Jeb, what does your instinct say? Someone asked me that in the first cohort yesterday. I'll tell you what my instinct says. My instinct says we're running out of fuel, and my instinct actually says we're going to break to the downside. That's what my instinct says. My instinct sees Bitcoin going down into the 8,000s in the next couple of weeks. Don't go open a short position on that. That is not the call. However, that is what my instinct says, and I know a lot of you guys always ask me that, so there you go. That being said, there is a very strong technical and logical argument for Bitcoin to break to the upside here. As you can see, whenever Bitcoin had this Bart Simpson, it fell straight down, and what did we do? We started trending to the upside. It's very telling when Bitcoin has a major movement to the upside or downside like we saw here, what happens immediately after. What does the flag look like? Is it trending to the downside? Is it trending sideways? Is it trending upwards? On this flag, we had a major bullish movement, and the flag trended to the downside. On this major movement, Bitcoin had a flag, but it trends to the upside. That is an indication that we're seeing more bullishness than we saw at this point. We're seeing more bullishness here than we did here. While my instinct is telling me, Jeb, be very careful in this market climate, my instinct is also telling me the following. My instinct is telling me that Bitcoin wants to break to the upside in the short term, which may end up causing a shift in my own opinion on this. Guys, this is a very complicated market, so I want to end the video on this. I'm not going to make a call about where the video is going. You've heard what my instinct says. You've heard what the technicals say, and you may notice that they disagree. The technicals say we're going up, the fundamentals say we're going down or maybe sideways, and my instinct says that we're going down. I'm not going to weigh in with any of those three because as far as I'm concerned in trading, your instinct is not you, it is your experience, and then you are you. My instincts over here is one of those factors, the technicals are over here, and the fundamentals are right here. They're all three different things, three different takes on the same market. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that. But before we end the video, I want to say this. I've been thinking a lot about this office that we're talking about leasing so that we can upgrade our production value here and have an entire team in-house so that we can continue working on these videos and all of the new projects that we're working on. We're now in negotiations with the building owner, and quite frankly, the way it's looking, if I want the office, I can have the office. But you guys have to understand when you do something like this and when you sign a 24-month lease on commercial real estate, that carries a significant amount of risk because they want you to pay all 24 months even if you can't pay all 24 months. I'm not going to get very much into that right now. As that develops, I'll keep you guys updated because that is going to have a big impact on this channel in the future of it. And if that deal falls through, I know of other offices, by the way. We're not just not going to have an office. We have other offices lined up, just so you know, guys. This is going to happen. But I want to use what I'm dealing with right now, all this negotiations and honestly the largest financial decision of my entire life to this point. I want to use this as a jumping off point for something I've been thinking about a lot lately because this is a major decision and one I've been thinking about very, very hard over the last week or so about whether or not we do this and commit that much capital to something like this in the hopes that it will allow this business to expand even farther and bring you guys even higher quality content and help even more people because at the end of the day, that is our mission statement to help as many people as possible. The way that I approach a very difficult task like this is twofold. Number one, ask the man upstairs. A lot of times I'll give you an answer. A lot of you guys probably don't agree with me on that, but that is my personal take on it. I understand that may not apply to most of you. The second one will, for all of you. The second thing I do when I'm thinking about a major decision like this, and I don't know if it's a good idea or not, is I ask myself, in 30 years, when I look back on this moment in my life, will I consider the decision that I made to have been a good one? In other words, in 30 years, in 20 years, in 10 years, even in 5 years, will I look back on the decision that I'm about to make? Which decision will I make to make myself that's 40 or 50 years old happy? What decision can I make to reduce the amount of future regret that I will have? Because even though I've taught you guys delayed gratification, even though I've taught you guys to think long term, it is natural for humans to think short term and to think about instant gratification. And no matter how much you try to get rid of that, it is always going to seep in, and it will seep into my own mind when I'm making a decision like this. So you ask that second question, what will you have wished you had have decided 30 years from now to minimize future regret? And all of a sudden, it knocks those out. Because if you're thinking about it from the perspective of yourself, 2 or 3 decades from now, then you simply have to ask yourself the question, what can you do to minimize that regret? And guys, I'll be honest with you, I've been wrestling a whole lot about whether or not we want to go through with this, and it's not financial, by the way, we can afford it. It's risk, which is a little different. When I think about 50-year-old Jeb, there's no doubt in my mind, there's not a shred of inconfidence on the decision that I have in front of me, and that is to move forward and grow this business and expand to bring you guys higher quality content, because I know that that's the right thing to do in my heart, and I know that even if it fails, it will have been the right thing to do. So guys, the next year in this whole journey that we're doing here in cryptocurrency just got a lot more interesting. There is much development coming to this channel and hopefully coming to this space over the course of the next 12 to 24 months. There is a significant amount. And before I even mention the first cohort, which is one of the things that's going to allow us to fund this expansion to bring you guys better content, I want to first say thank you. Because I was looking at our finance, I was thinking, okay, 24 months from now, what position will we be in? Will we be able to expand? Will we be struggling? And I look back 24 months ago. 24 months ago, I didn't have $1 to my name. So 24 months, apparently you can do a whole lot in 24 months, because 24 months ago, I didn't have a penny. In fact, it'll be 2 years on June 20th that this channel got monetized. So I literally didn't have a penny to my name 24 months ago. You can do a lot if you work at the same thing for long enough and you put in the hours, guys. I want to encourage you, but I also want to thank you, because none of this would have been possible without your help. So I am eternally grateful for everyone who watches these videos, everyone who subscribes to these videos, everyone who goes through and enjoys the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, and everyone who hopefully will join the first cohort, because we are putting a lot of work into that as well. Guys, the first cohort is our private Discord server where we share trades with each other, and also where the Coffee and Crypto live stream will be happening here in about half an hour after I'm done getting this video made. If you want to get access to a morning live stream with me 5 days a week and get access to me so you can ask any questions and pick my brain, one of our users, USA Army 1 is his screen name, I'm not sure his actual name, was asking me all kinds of questions on stream yesterday, answered all of them. It was a really great conversation. Some of you guys have some amazing questions that provoke thought and even allow for us to improve things on this channel and in the first cohort, because you're like, hey, Jeb, what about this? And I'm like, whoa, you got a great idea, man. So guys, if you're interested in joining the first cohort, if you're interested in finding out more about that, shoot us an email. As I said, anyone in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy will be getting access to 1 month free of the first cohort. You'll have to shoot me an email to get that through, though. My email is cryptojeb@gmail.com. It'll be somewhere on screen right now. Guys, before I go, I do just want to say one thing. Videos might be a little bit interrupted over the next week or so because there is so much going on behind the scenes. That is not for lack of us working. It's actually because we're working so hard on everything that's going on here. So if the technical analysis falters just a little bit, or, you know, like everything isn't quite up to the standard that I normally want, it's because we're developing and it's just growing pains. So guys, stick with us here. It's going to be a great year. We've got a lot of awesome things coming, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you. I am pumped about 2020. I know we've all been playing Apocalypse Bingo for this entire year, but we are going to make the most of it. I wish you guys best of luck. I wish you guys to make the most profit that you possibly can. But as always, guys, before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Oh, I got a real good